Howdy howdy. This is Lift Your Spirits by DeerSphereStudios. You are a college student who stays on campus in the dead of night to meet an assessment deadline. Of course, ignoring the many ghost stories shared by other students. Now, there is a content warning for flashing lights, screen shaking, and of course some spooky wooky atmosphere. So if that isn't your thing, feel free to skip this one. Let's go. Alone on a Friday night, and I'm spending it here. My fingers were sluggish as they typed out the last bit of conclusion needed to finish off my paper. I didn't even bother spell checking the rest, my hand dragging the cursor across the close of the document. Alright, time to submit it. I typed out my regards to Mr. Holtman. Kindly finish the attached file of assessment. Your student... A bird. Stifling a yawn, I turned on my phone to check the time. 2:53 a.m. The universal experience of losing sleep and gaining eye bags as a college student came to grace me in its hold once again, it seems. At least it's the weekend. Turning off the computer, it suddenly hit me how quiet it was without my fingers tapping away at the keyboard. Everyone else had left. The campus was open 24/7, but who else was dumb enough to push their luck in submitting their assessment this late? Me. I'm a dummy. I considered myself lucky Mr. Holtman gave me the extended deadline, otherwise I'd be screwed. Still, there were also rumors. Disembodied voices echoing through empty rooms. Heavy footsteps shuffling down the halls. Those who were lucky claimed to see a black silhouette skulking around the vending machine, at the end of the corridor, staring at them. As he just wants some snacky wackies, don't judge him. I wasn't the superstitious type, but I had to admit the eerie silence of being the only person here gave me the creeps. I was recalling all the gossip spread. What was that? Okay. I was recalling all the gossip spread around the student body when a sound made me perk up. I glanced behind me over the monitors to see if someone had come in. Nobody. I ignored the goosebumps rising in my arms as I gathered up my items into my bag. Superstitious or not, I've done what I came here for. Time to go. I shambled to the elevators and tapped the button. It rumbled to life, slowly making its way up to my floor. Just a couple more minutes and I'm out of here, I assured myself. I don't know why, but I found myself constantly checking behind me as if expecting someone was there. Yet, it's always empty every time I look. I tapped the button some more. The hairs at the back of my neck stood, as if I was being watched. Footsteps? I clenched my fists, ignoring how sweaty they felt in my pockets. Why is there breathing? Hello? Is there someone behind me? Ding! Okay, I jumped. Get in. The door slid open as I released the breath I didn't realize I was holding. I didn't even consider looking back as I stepped inside, refusing to turn around until the doors closed. Oh, okay. We're in the calm of the elevator. Real good. The chipper background music they played calmed me down somewhat. I'm almost in disbelief they were still playing it at this hour. Almost. I pressed the button for the ground floor, the elevator moving with a small jolt. With nothing to do but wait, I stared as the numbers slowly descended. Oh, the lull of the elevator was starting to make me sleepy. I thought of the things I could do once I got home, just to distract myself from the rest of the ride. A shower, for sure. Microwave dinner. Oh! Hello? I blinked up at the flickering lights. Oh, you've gotta be kidding me. The elevator shuddered and came to an abrupt halt. Music cut out. I mean, I think it would be even creepier if the music was still playing, but you know. I tried the button for the ground floor, then the rest. Unresponsive. Pushing the intercom button gave nothing but static. Hello? No. No, this can't be happening. Taking a moment to compose myself, I called out. Is anyone out there? I'm stuck in here, help! I started slamming the doors as panic took hold. There had to be someone out there. Help, please, I'm in here! I didn't stop for a good minute, getting more and more desperate as tears welled up in my eyes. Why? Why now? Why me? I knocked my forehead against the door in a slump, ready to curl up and cry. This sucks. I was about to turn before I felt a chill run up my spine. The air felt heavy. Is this claustrophobia setting in? I didn't think... What is it? I didn't think I had a fear of closed spaces. Unless... Oh! There was a raspberry bone baby! I turned my head and screamed. Black mold! Across me was a growing blotch of darkness, an oozing mass that seemed to melt through the walls. I scrambled away, my back flat against the doors. Oh! Hand emerged from the writhing form, grasping at the edges. Foul-smelling black ichor dripped from its fingers. Another arm followed suit, clinging to the other side. I couldn't look away. I couldn't find my voice to scream. A face took shape. Oh, a pair of hollow eyes and manic grin with several teeth. It seemed to smile directly at me. It's very loud. I blacked out. Thank God. It's better to black out in that situation. Hey. Up. Hey. Wake up. Hey. Hey. I heard a voice, panicked and flustered from above me. Oh. A person was looming over me, visibly worried as I blinked back into consciousness. You're alive. I couldn't really check for a pulse, so... Anyway, are you alright? I'm gonna save. Ew, don't touch me, creep. I think so. I think so. Phew. I'm glad. Didn't mean to scare you back there. You mean crawling out of the fucking walls? Was that you? Oh, I realized I was still in the elevator, but now with a stranger twiddling their thumbs in front of me. They were taller than me, looming a good few inches past my head. Their limbs looked even more awkward in the baggy sweater they had. I wasn't sure if they forgot to wash away their makeup or if they just haven't slept in 3 days straight. Possibly both. I realized they were staring at me as well. Their eyes focused on me a little too long, as if they'd forgotten how to blink. So... I suddenly remembered the last thing I saw. That creepy shadow from the walls. But before you were here, there was something crawling out of the walls. I know it sounds insane, but I swear, it looks straight out of a horror movie. The stranger looked nervous. Crap, they think I'm nuts. Don't look at me like that. No, I believe you, for sure. You saw it too? Well, sort of. Sorry. I was really trying to be sneaky. That must have been uncomfortable to watch, Come again? What are you saying? Well, I heard you yelling for help, and I couldn't just leave you alone, so I did the next best thing I could. Eh? Are you saying that was you? Yes. In a way. There's really no easy way to say this. I'm not alive. Not the way you are. Did they mean... You mean like a ghost? Stranger lit up appreciatively. Basically, you must have heard the rumors, right? Well, it's me, in the flesh. Well, sans the flesh. Sans the flesh? Okay. Just stick your hand through them, believe them? I feel like this is just gonna instigate trouble. I'll believe them. I feel like this isn't the worst situation to be meeting a ghost for the first time. Stranger gave a sigh of relief. Thank you for trusting me. I'd asked for your name, but I already know that it's Jaybird. How did you... I've been watching you for a while. Excuse me? Tonight. I've been watching you for a while tonight. It's not safe to be alone this late. I would know. Before I could ask further, they straightened. Anyway, I stuck around to see you write your paper. I don't necessarily agree with your hypothesis, but interesting nevertheless. Nevertheless. Save again. Thanks, I think. They gave a shy smile. No problem. This wasn't the way I expected my night to go, but I guess the sooner I accepted it, the better. I should probably ask for their name instead of calling them a stranger. You know my name, but what about yours? Oh. They looked away, fingers picking at their sleeve. I don't remember. I know who I was and what I did when I was alive, but not my name. Strange, isn't it? Have you ever thought of picking one yourself? Their eyes widened as if the thought never occurred to them. I never needed a name, but if I were to have one, I've always liked the name Alma liked the way Alma sounds. Yeesh, we can either be really fucking mean or not. Perfect. His smile widened. Thank you, Jaybird. Alma went back to twiddling their thumbs. We stood in silence for a while, gauging on what to say next. I kept glancing back at their hands, wondering if they feel as solid as they looked. They knew I was staring, but didn't seem to mind, waiting patiently in front of me. My thoughts were running wild from sleep deprivation and shock to actually form words past our introductions, to be honest. They started humming softly, as if to fill the silence. That's when it hit me. For a ghost, they could easily be a student just like me. I have to ask, how did you, Alma had a knowing look in their eyes. Oh man, it's honestly kind of embarrassing. Insist? Despite having no blood flowing through their veins, their cheeks seemed to darken. We don't have to get into it. But I really want to know. Please? They hesitated before nodding. Promise you won't make fun of me? Promise. Okay. So, I was staying late working on an assessment, just like you. No one was around. Even back then, I was known as a loner most of the time. It didn't bother me. While I was working, I got thirsty. No big deal. So, I headed over to the vending machine for a drink. They paused, hands shaking. They clasped at their wrist and twisted before continuing. Just a soda. Not too much to ask, right? I paid for the damn thing, but somehow my hand got stuck in the dispenser. So I pulled and well, they struggled a bit before I waited for them to continue. It fell. I felt my whole body being crushed under the weight. I couldn't even cry out for help. And the whole time, my hand was still stuck on that thing. Not that I could even tell. I think my wrist was beyond saving at that point. They sunk into themselves. I died trying to get some cheap soda. How pathetic is that? Damn, I can be a fucking asshole. Oh shit, I'm out of slots. Oh no. I guess I'll just do the last one. Why would I say that? Damn. It's not. I'm sorry that happened to you. I put my hand over theirs. Passed right through, giving an ice-cold chill in my fingertips. But Alma seemed to appreciate it nonetheless. They looked up at me, their nervous hands finally coming to a stop. I've never told anyone about it before. I didn't think it would feel this freeing. Thank you. You know, I think you're a really great person. I want to help you get out of here. I tilted my head. How are you gonna do that? I can try some things. That is, if you trust me. Oh, I don't even have an option. Trust. They clapped their hands excitedly. Okay, here we go. You might want to hold on to something. Before I could ask further, the elevator began to drop. Brother! My heart plunged into my throat as my weight shifted upwards. Alma? Hang on, let me focus. The buttons for each floor flashed beside me. I closed my eyes shut and decided to trust them. It felt like a roller coaster heading straight to the ground. The air whizzed around me. I grit my teeth and clenched my hands, knuckles probably wide as if I bothered to look. And just like that, it stopped. I yelped as the elevator jolted. I landed on my ass with a smack. I blinked my eyes open to see Alma clapping excitedly. They looked over to see me on the floor and gestured towards the doors. They creaked open, as if I were manually pulled apart by an unseen force. My jaw dropped as I realized they really did bring me to the ground floor. You really did it. I did. I never got to do that before. I couldn't believe my eyes. I stood and threw my arms around Alma, only to completely pass through them. They yelped and backed away to the wall. Give a signal before you do that. I don't appreciate feeling hands inside of me, it's gross. Sorry. I gathered myself and stepped through the doors, Alma following suit. Sure enough, the lobby was empty. Clock on the wall indicating it was now close to 4 AM now. I was in there for an hour? What? Well, I guess this is it. I turned to see them trying hard not to reach for their hands, fingers twitching to intertwine with one another. It all happened so fast. It sunk in that now I could leave and go home right now if I wanted to. Alma, thank you. I appreciate it. They nodded understandingly. I stood there for a moment as they looked at me, before averting their eyes. They were waiting for me to leave. I grasped at my phone inside my pocket, mustering the courage to ask what I was about to ask. Would you ever want to hang out again? They did a double take. Huh? Would you ever want to hang— Yes! But why would you want to? Why wouldn't I? I like you. Once again, their cheeks darkened despite being them. I like you too. Yeah, I'd love to hang out again. Great. Preferably when I'm, not stuck and helpless in an elevator. My heart skipped a beat as they laughed lightly. Preferably, of course. I'll see you next week? Yeah. Don't worry about a time or a place. I can always find you, wherever you are in the building. Kind of unsettling, but okay. Stay safe, J-Bud. I waved and headed towards the entrance, pulling my phone out to call for a driver from one of my apps. When I turned to look back, Alma was already gone. Good end to Friends for Life, or more. Ew, don't touch me, creep. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Just give me some space, will you? I realized I was still in the elevator, but now with a stranger twiddling their thumbs in front of me. Well, I heard you screaming for help, and I couldn't just leave you alone, so I did the next best thing I could. What kind of sick what kind of sick joke is this? I was just trying to help. There's really no easy way to say this. I'm not alive. Not the way you are. Did they mean... You mean like a ghost? The stranger lit up appreciatively. Basically, you must have heard the rumors, right? Well, it's me, in the flesh. Well, sans the flesh. Yeah, stick your hand through them. Uh-oh. My hand shot out before I could think twice. What? The tips of my fingers instantly felt airy and ice cold. Like touching something solid yet not. The stranger yelped and backed away. Hey, do you just go around sticking your fingers into people you just met? No. Sorry, I thought you were messing with me. The stranger was having none of it. Ugh, why do I even bother? If you sit tight and don't do anything stupid, they'll come find you in the morning. They shifted into a familiar black, shapeless entity, melting into a puddle and disappearing through the floor. Exactly the same way they had entered. I found myself alone for the next 7 hours. The workers found me half dozing in the corner in the next morning. I stayed late most nights on campus to see if the stranger would show up, but it seems they're ignoring me on purpose. I never saw them again. Bad End 1, Rude Awakening. I never needed a name, but if I were to have one, I've always liked the way Alma sounds. Oh, sounds stupid. Oh, no need to be rude about it. Emma went back to twiddling their fingers. We stood in silence for a while, gauging on what to say next. I died trying to get some cheap soda. How pathetic is that? Oh god, okay. Kinda sounded like you deserved it. I'm sorry. Alma's eyes shrunk into thin slits. Why are you so mean to me? The lights dimmed, fuzzy static rising in the air. A heavy weight settled on my chest as Alma stared me down. Their height only made me shrink further. I've done nothing but be nice to you. All I wanted was to help, and yet... Everything went dark. I stepped back as rasping voices came from in front of me. Sounds of scuffling and bone snapping. My back hit the wall. It was cold. Colder than anything I've ever felt. It hurt to breathe as I wait in the dark for something to happen. Hello? Oh! The emergency lights turned on. Alma no longer looked human. Multiple eyes writhed across their form, tiny slits with red pupils judging me. Mouths crackled and taunted, whispering, "You deserve this, you deserve this, you deserve this." Wait. My feet buckled as the elevator began to drop, free-falling as gravity's pull took over. Buttons began to light up one by one as we fell by each floor, faster and faster as it gained speed. The scraping of metal was loud in my ears. I dropped to my knees, begging for it to stop. And stop it did. Splat. Bad End 2. You deserved it. We did deserve that. It's honestly kind of embarrassing. Back down. I guess I don't have to tell you then. That's alright. I heaved a sigh and moved to sit down, leaning against the doors. Alma looked on curiously. What are you doing? I shrugged, took out my phone for a while. Took out my phone to look for a time-wasting app. In no time, I had one of my mindless games open. Might as well settle in and spend the next few hours trying to beat my high score. Not much I can do right now. Got some battery to last a couple hours. I pat down a spot next to me. You wanna watch? Alma stood for a moment as if unsure. Come on, plenty of room for both. Just watch your legs, Lanky. They settled in beside me, sitting crisscross applesauce, and leaned over to look at my phone. My shoulder immediately chilled at their close proximity, but I didn't bother bringing it up. We chatted amicably as my fingers tapped away at my screen, Alma getting more invested the higher my numbers got. But otherwise, it was a peaceful company. 3 hours passed. I must have dozed off at some point, as the next thing I knew, there was some whirring behind me, and that woke me up with a jolt. Voices began to call out as I turned to see some workers prying the door open for me. It took no time for me to step outside when their work was done. The sunlight shining over me made me feel like everything that happened last night was a dream. I turned on my phone to look at the time. Instead, I saw an unsent message typed out on the screen. Be safe. Careful about staying late next time. I blinked and looked around. A cold chill went up my arm, and I almost turned to expect Alma, but saw nothing. Next time? I put my phone away and rubbed my bleary eyes, mentally making a note to stay back at the campus more frequently from now on. Good end 1. Till next time. So that was Lift Your Spirits. It's a short game, but a cute and spooky little experience nonetheless. For a game so short, the devs did a really great job putting the concept together and creating a story with a lot of clean endings. Because I feel like a lot of short games make you feel a little unsatisfied. Like, they could have put more time into establishing the story and making the ending not feel so rushed. But I didn't feel that way with this game, so very nice little experience. But aside from that, thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye.